Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Strong Inside and Out Leadership Lessons. And this week I'm really excited for this episode. It hit me on Saturday evening, sorry, as I was watching college basketball, what I was going to talk about this week. And have you ever had one of those moments where like you're wondering and you're wondering and you're trying to decide something and you go through all of the emotions and then all of a sudden it's like the clouds part and the sun shines and you know exactly what you need to say. And that was exactly what happened to me on Saturday. So this week we're going to be talking about it takes more. And I really have to say, I think I'm one of those people that this just truly resonates with, that I have a lot of knowledge and wisdom to share about this, but it's so hard to put into place. And so let's get started. Now, something I don't know if you know this about me, I've mentioned it a little bit, but growing up, actually, I think I have mentioned this. Growing up, college basketball was a staple in my family. And I remember this very distinct time where one of my grandpas passed away, my great grandfather. And it was the first time I had seen somebody who was not alive anymore. And it freaked me out. Like I was totally freaked out. And we were at the funeral home, and my grandpa knew that I was totally freaked out. And so he took me into the back room where the family was sitting, the adults of the family, and I was in high school. And he said, "Hey, let's catch this basketball game." And so he turns on the TV in this back little like lounge room, and we all start watching college basketball. And that was the moment that I feel like I was hooked on men's college basketball. I've watched women and, clearly I followed Caitlin Clark for a while when she was playing for Iowa and this and that. I'm not a big professional basketball fan. I'm just not. I don't know why, but college men's basketball to me, March Madness in particular, is just one of those times of the year where I think about my grandpa and I think about all of the great experiences we had together and memories I have of the March Madness tournament. And what was even better this year is University of Houston, which is where I got my master's degree, was one of the amazing teams that had gone all the way to the final game last night. I'm recording this on Tuesday, and I wanted to watch that game first because I was hoping I would be able to come on here and talk to you about their success. But it's funny because you could see the game starting to fall apart right toward the end, and they lost by 2 points. It was devastating. It just was devastating. So, but they went all the way to the end. And Saturday, when I was watching the games, it was the Final Four, if you don't watch it, and there was a commercial that came on. And this was my moment. During this commercial, and I'm not a big commercial watcher, I usually tend to go do something or check my phone, or I don't know, if I'm watching something pre-recorded, then I fast forward. But during these big sports events, I always feel like the commercials are pretty fun to watch. So I was watching the commercial and it caught me when they said, "It takes more." And I believe it was a Gatorade commercial, but please don't quote me on that. I don't know if I remember. Because the moment I heard that phrase, I was just like, whoa, there it is. That's my podcast this week for leadership lessons. And I had to write it down on a notebook so I wouldn't forget. And they were talking and this and that, but I kept hearing them say, high power athletes, it takes more, they do more. And then I started to think, top level CEOs, it takes more and they do more. The best actresses and actors who win the awards, it takes more and they do more. And it brought me to thinking about my own career as a principal. And I'm going to be honest with you, it takes more. And I did more. I wasn't somebody that was on a path that this was just landing in my lap. I wasn't somebody that people just expected me to be the building leader. I wasn't somebody who became known to go into failing schools and do turnarounds. It just That wasn't my trajectory when I was a kid, right? I grew up in a home that was rough and I didn't have the greatest of things. And sometimes I didn't know where I was going to eat. And sometimes I slept at home and sometimes I slept somewhere else. And our family was broken and my parents were divorced. And the expectation wasn't for me to go on to do greatness, but I had it in me and I knew I had it in me. And even after I took on that first teaching position, and I totally failed the first year, well, almost the entire first year, up until spring break, I totally was failing. And I was quitting. I was quitting every single day until I realized if you want to be great at teaching, which is what I wanted to do when I was 6 years old, I knew I had to do more and be more. And then when I wanted to become an instructional specialist and leave the classroom so I could have a bigger impact on the campus, it wasn't just handed to me. As a matter of fact, I went through a little rough patch at first because my best friend got chosen first over me, and that was hard. So I told myself, you do more and you be more. And then when I applied for my first assistant principal position, let me just tell you, I got told no 3 times. And I know that sounds like early girl 3 times, but 3 times was pretty significant for me because those 3 times were within the district I was working in, campuses I wanted to work at, and people that I had relationships with and I wanted to work for. And they looked me in the eye and told me no. It would have been real easy for me to just go, all right, I'll just be an instructional specialist again next year. But I said to myself, no, you need to do more and be more. And then when I got put into that last assistant principal position with that wild and crazy experience that I had with that principal who got removed halfway through the year, and I kept thinking, you just need to quit. You go on someplace else. This isn't for you. This is too hard. But I started to realize, but what if I could step into that role next? And I could fix the school and I could change the school. And so guess what I told myself? Do more and be more. Now, for those of you who have been following me, you know that I left the principalship about 2 years ago and I started my own business. And it was hard. It's been hard. I've had ups and downs and great successes and failures and wonderings and questions and times where I wanted to give up and times where I wanted to celebrate. And I'm back at a position in a school district because I wanted a little more structure in my world as I'm trying to figure everything out. And I've made some pivots and I'm working toward a different direction, which causes more work. So I'm working full time. I tutor children and adults working on their GED in my evening hours and weekends, plus build this program for teacher certification, plus build this business and sell and connect and all of the things, do these podcasts, write my books. And people say to me, you're going to burn yourself out. You're working too hard because they don't understand my goal. And my goal is to get everything I want. And to do that, I have to do more and be more. Michael Jordan didn't get where he was by just doing the status quo, by just being average. Steve Jobs did not get Apple where they wanted to be and where they are now, a legacy, by just being average. Warren Buffett didn't build his empire by just thinking average. Level 5 leaders, great leaders that are out there working hard day in and day out and working smart to ensure the hard work is the work that needs to be done. Don't just figure that out. by being average. They're doing more and they're being more. These are the leaders who are waking up at 4 a.m. to get reps in or to get a workout in or to do whatever it is that needs to be done before the sun comes up so that they can focus on their work during those work hours and still be able to manage having a family and a life in the evening. These are the people that say, I'm disciplined enough to know work time is work time, rest time is rest time, and I'm going to make it all happen. These are people who are smart enough to realize if I want to be the top level, whether it's within a school district as a superintendent, a director, or you're the top CEO of a company, or you're building your own empire. It doesn't happen because we dabble here, there, and the other. It's because we do more and we want to be more. So, leaders, I challenge you this week. Where do you fit on that spectrum? Are you that person that's thriving and you're striving to attain that top level position or to be the best you can be within your organization? To be the person that takes care of things, because the better we're at it, right? The more skilled we are, the more fluid it becomes. Sure, we're still going to have stressors, but we learn how to handle those stressors better. That's what makes us great leaders. And when we can do that, we can share our greatness to empower our people. Or are you the person that's just satisfied with saying, yeah, I made it. I made it to this position. There's so much more I could do, but this is where I'm going to land. Now, I promise you, nobody's, at least I'm not going to, judge you. You have to live your life. But if you're out there talking about how one day when you are in charge, one day when you're top level, one day when you're the superintendent, one day when you're running an amazing organization, but you're not doing anything about it, it's time for us to talk. It's time for you to step back and reflect. Because if the desire is there, the dream is there, it's there for a reason. It's been put on your heart and on your mind for a reason. But you have to take the action to do it. So this week, what can you do more of? Smart things, not just word, smart word. How can you be more? Because 2025, for me, has been such a better year than 2024. And I hear that from so many people. I'm taking advantage of 2025. I'm making me the best version of me I possibly can be and the best leader I can be. And although I've had some great success over the years and daily right now, even in the position I'm in today, had an opportunity to help a leader be better. And that's what it's all about. Even though I get that chance, it makes me also realize I still have so much more to learn, so much more to experience, so much more to figure out in this world if I want to be that level 5 leader. All right, y'all, that's everything I have for this week. Take the challenge. Go out there and make big things happen. Do not just sit back and say, I'm here and this is good enough. We don't need good enough. We need great. And if you need help with any of this, please reach out. You know how to reach me. Find me on social media. Reply here. You can get me. You can find me. I'm everywhere. I promise you, except for TikTok. Although I do have an account now, but I don't know how to use it yet. That's another thing I have to be more and do more of, learning those platforms, but that's a story for another day. So go out there, make big things happen. Really take this to heart, because top level leaders, They're not just average. They're amazing. And you can be too. Have a great week, and I'll see y'all right back here next week on Leadership Lessons.